I was getting ready to record my intro. Good news, I found archaeology stuff. 2, I found a floating log. Like, what is keeping this log up? Is it supposed to be something here keeping it up? Let's see, let's find out. Or can I just crawl underneath it? Okay, there should be something here holding it up. Can I please crawl underneath it? That'll be perfect. Where's my penguin? He should also be here. Yes, there he is. Apparently the best penguin in Stars Table, as I guess the club would call it. Oh my gosh, look, he's breaking the log. He's now, half his body's gone. But hey guys, welcome back, and today I'm going to be doing a bit of a story time video. My goal of this video is not to get distracted and properly explain the stories. I'm just bored, okay? I want to expose myself. But let's move on. Yes, I did just run all the way up here to explain my intro and what this video is going to be about. And now I'm going back into the marshes to get my stone. So, when I used to go to school, I mean, I still do technically go to school, but when I used to go to preschool, during that time period, me and my brother had an obsession with something that a lot of kids had an obsession with when they were younger. Lego. AKA the thing that can hurt your hands if you ball with it for too long. At least my hands get hurt when I ball with it. When I used to go to this preschool, keep in mind I was like 4 years old or something, 4 or 5. And I wasn't really smart, most probably. And I thought something clever. Me and my brother had a little obsession with something, not just Lego, but something specific in Lego. This thing in Lego was this little Lego German Shepherd dog. For the Lego City Police franchise, I think it's for... Actually, I think we got Fido... What? No, I'm spoiling! So, we called this little Lego dog Fido. If I can, I'll put a video on the screen of Fido, so you guys can kind of get an idea of what this dog looks like. So, for people who are wondering, or excuse the blur, but here is Fido. Here's a hand reveal. Hi, but here is the dog. Can it stop blurring? Here's the dog. He also has a broken leg. The front one is broken. This is Fido 2.0, and as the story progresses, you understand what happened to Fido number 1. But here is Fido 2.0. We did just dig in the basement to find this dog, so this story video better be worth it. But anyway. So I was like, okay, what if, for a little day, I bring this little dog with me to preschool? So I snuck Fido with me to school. Now during break time, I showed Fido to my friends, because why not? And they wanted to have a turn with him, but I didn't want them to break him. So I was clever enough to, if I remember correctly, throw him into the grass or somewhere. And I dug in that grass to try and find him, and I never saw that dog again. I had to go home and say to my brother, okay, so I lost Fido. And Fido was actually his. It wasn't mine. So I just lost something that belonged to someone else. So that's peachy. But don't worry, now we have Fido 2.0, and hopefully this Fido's never similar fate to the first Fido. Here's another story of when I lost a Lego dog. So, this one time, me and my family went on holiday somewhere. And it was for the weekend. We're staying in like a hotel type building. And I decided to be clever and break the one family rule, which was not to bring Legos with while going on holiday somewhere, or else you might lose them. So I was clever enough to bring this one specific dog with in this little Lego bunch. That dog was like one of the most special dogs to me. in Lego. And it was a little Lego Friends husky. If I can. I actually don't think I have a picture of it, so I can't even put it on the screen for you guys. But if you guys Google like the Lego Friends winter chalet type thing, it should pop up. Or just put in Lego Friends husky and maybe it'll pop up. Just I hope nothing weird will pop up for you guys. But I brought that Lego dog along with a bunch of others. And on the last day we were staying there, I was playing with them and I dropped Fido. I'm still thinking of the other story. And I dropped this little Lego dog along with a bunch of others. I didn't look for the Lego dog. I forgot to look for him. And he slid under the couch and we left without him. So when we got back home, I bring a little bag with a bunch of toys in it, and I used to, not anymore. But I looked and I realized that Fido, that my little Lego doggy was gone. You don't want to know how upset I was. I actually cried. I don't know what was wrong with me. I was way too obsessed with Lego. Shall I talk about a time I've gotten injured badly? We're starting with the funny stories and then we move on to the a little bit painful stories. One time when I was really young, I used to go climbing in trees. Trees? I mean, that's true, I did used to climb in trees. But I used to climb on walls too. So there's one little wall near my house. I used to love climbing up and down trying to get to the top. Once I got to the top of that wall, and I didn't realize it, but there were cactus. And when I got there, I was like, oh yes, I got up, woohoo. And then I stepped on the cactus and went flying off the wall. The wall was a big wall too. It's still there. It's a big wall. It's like taller than me. Even now, I'm a tall person for my age. And that was a big wall. It's still taller than me. Maybe even taller than my brother and dad. But anyway. So I cried. My mom came running out. And someone else was there and actually saw me fall. And then my mother went up to him and asked, wait, did she fall on her head? And then the person said, yes, she fell on her head. Let's just say my mom wasn't happy. I'm fine, I didn't go to the hospital, and I thankfully did not get a concussion or anything because I literally fell straight on my head. Another story I have from whacking my head on the floor or something was like a couple of years later. And so I got out the bath one time. I was still drenching wet. I got the bath. I wanted mom to help with drying me off because I was young. I didn't really know how to do it. My feet were still drenched. So I am like the world's most clever person. I ran with slippery feet. I slipped because I always bath by my mom and dad's bathroom. But I ran around their bed. And then I slipped and I banged my head against the bedside table and banged my head against the floor, if I remember correctly. My head was sore, but it didn't like pain. And then that night I felt so sick and I felt like I was gonna let it go. I felt like I was just gonna vomit. So that was an immediate trip to the hospital for me. And I'm fine. I did not get a concussion again. I know people who have gotten concussions before and I feel bad for them. But anyway, one more story. I'm not sure if it's going to be the last story, but it might be the last story. And this is the time I lost a toenail. I'm hoping this isn't going to get too graphic, and if it does get too graphic, well, I'm saying now, it might get graphic. We'll talk about blood. Excuse me, what? Okay, firstly, excuse me, what? Secondly, excuse me, what the flip were you just doing? I'm concerned. So one time, me and two people were playing on a playground And the like playground, I don't know what you call it, a little bowling in the middle of the playground, like all the slides and stuff. I was firstly made out of wood. Secondly, it wasn't stable. So the roof bit wasn't stable. So what I always used to like to do was push. And then the thing would just go back on the beam that held the roof together. So what happened was one of my friends one of the people was pushing on the thing. So I also decided to push a little bit, and instead of it landing back on the beam top thing, it slipped. And my friend got out the way, but I was not quick enough, and it ended up it fell on my foot and crushed my toenail, one of them. I actually didn't cry. I'm actually surprised I did not cry at all until we got home. My two friends were actually really nice enough to help lead me home as I was limping, and once I got home I burst into tears, which was a fun experience. It took like a year or so for it to get fully better. So that's lovely. I'll explain one more story, I think. And this one is one more injury story too. So what happened was, I have cats, if you didn't know. I have 13 pet cats in real life. They're rescued cats. And we only had 6. 3 of the older ones and 3 of the more younger ones at the time. The 3 for this story is Lily, Snowy, and Stripes. And Stripes is the main victim of the story. So I used to like racing them because I'm a weird person. And what happened was, as I was running onto the road, Stripes, she's the cat who likes going in between our legs. She went right in front of me, or she went in between my legs as I was running. So I slipped and skidded across the tar. And my legs are still scarred to this day. I keep saying one more story, but I actually have one more story now. I think it's the official last one. And it was the time I got a scar from one of my cats, which I still have to this day. But one of my cats, Snowy, Snowflake, and Tiger, who's one of our oldest cats, probably one of our oldest cats. They weren't really friends at the time. They still aren't really friends. I would like put my arm in between them while I was lying in bed, and then Snowflake attacked my arm instead. And she went proper. She put a flippin' hole in my arm and a scratch. And the scars are still there to this day. You can still see the scar. I have one little line and like a little lighter color on my skin to resemble where the hole was. But those are all my stories, and also I nearly went to the hospital because of that. Those are all the stories I have to share with you on this fine Sunday afternoon. What a lovely way to end the video with some scars that I have to this day. But thank you guys for watching, and if you sticked around the whole video to listen to my boring stories, then thank you. But if you didn't stick around, that's also fine. If you just skip to the end, then good for you. But anyway guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video. Ta-ta!